Hey everyone, this is Jeff Hoffman from Nuance Labs. I'm just hanging out here at my house having a relaxed Sunday afternoon, getting ready to watch a movie on TV, and then later I'm headed out actually to go spend some time at the lake with my family, and that should be awesome. But before I do that stuff, I wanted to take a few minutes here and make a quick video and answer a question that Andy and I have been running into a lot lately. In addition to being a software development company, Nuance Labs also does consulting work. We work with small and medium-sized businesses to help them with their internet marketing strategy. And one of the things, as Andy and I kind of looked at the questions that were out there that these small businesses were having, the question frequently came up when we would talk about social marketing. Facebook versus MySpace. You know, everyone wants to know where should I spend my time, and should I be doing both sites? Should I just focus on one? What are your thoughts on that? So that's what we're going to talk about today: is Facebook versus MySpace, and the answer really depends on the particular business that you're in. So I'm not going to make any categorical statements here. But I do think the 80-20 rule applies. And for the 80% majority of the small businesses that are out there, I actually think that Facebook is superior. And today in this video, I'm going to talk about why. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the basic sort of character difference between the two social networks. And I found this article on Tech News World by Catherine Noyes, and I thought the title summed it up pretty well. She says, MySpace is Bart, Facebook is Lisa. So any of you who are Simpsons fans, and particularly those of you who have used both MySpace and Facebook at some point, will immediately understand what Catherine's going for here. And basically what she means is, MySpace is kind of the cool, edgy, anarchist, sort of just cool place, like Bart. And Facebook is more reserved, soft-spoken, sort of conformist, perhaps, and more educated, much like Lisa. So Catherine, in the article summary, you can see she says, MySpace tends to attract younger teens from lower-income families, and Facebook draws college and college prep crowds. Well, down further in the article, she talks about good kids versus bad kids. And she says, the goody two-shoes, jocks, athletes, or other, quote, good kids are now going to Facebook. These kids tend to come from families who emphasize education and going to college. They are primarily white, but not exclusively. They're in honors classes, looking forward to the prom, and live in a world dictated by after-school activities. So that's the Facebook crowd. And of course, these are broad statements, take it as a grain of sand. And then about MySpace, she says, MySpace is still home for Latino Hispanic teens, immigrant teens, quote, burnouts, alternative kids, and others who don't quite fit the typical mold of the popular high school student. These are kids whose parents didn't go to college and who are expected to get a job when they finish high school. So the MySpace, that kind of goes back and relates to the Bart versus Lisa. MySpace is typically a little edgier, and Facebook is typically, a little more mainstream. So for a marketer, what does that mean? Well, this article that I found sums it up. It's actually a different article, but it sums it up pretty nicely. And they say here, since opening the platform to non-college students, like-minded individuals have flocked to Facebook in droves. These individuals, while possessing similar psychographics of original Facebookers, have even better demographics for marketers: post-college education, high discretionary income, early adopters, etc. That's all great stuff, right? It goes on to say, according to a source within Facebook, the largest growing segment of Facebook is the lucrative 35 to 54-year-olds who enjoy the clean interface and higher privacy levels of Facebook. So again, as a marketer, the people that we like to reach are people who are educated, who have money to spend, who like to try new things, and especially people who are a little older because perhaps they have a little more discretionary income. So as you can see, Facebook, just from a character standpoint, certainly has a lot going for it. So one way that you can see these character differences that we've been talking about is to look at the demographics on the two sites. And to do that, I went to Quantcast, that's QUANTCAST.com, and I just typed in Facebook.com and did the graphs for that, and then I also graphed MySpace. And here I just kind of put them side by side so we could look at them. And here you can see household income. And as expected, the article talked about Facebook basically having higher income overall. And you can see Facebook has in the 60 to 100K range and the 100K plus range, they're above the internet average, somewhere around 115 on the index, whereas MySpace is actually below the internet average. If we look at MySpace, down on the bottom, and you see in the 0 to 30K range and 30 to 60K range that MySpace is actually above average, whereas Facebook up on top is below average. So there is a financial skew between these two sites, and as a small business, that's relevant information. In addition, if we look at education, the site talked about Bart versus Lisa, or the article rather. Here you can see that up top, Facebook is right about average for the internet, whereas MySpace is actually above average in terms of people without college, and overall, you can see from looking at the graphs that MySpace users tend, in general, to be less educated. So if we move past demographics and we start talking a little bit just about, how are these demographics playing out in the market? It's interesting to go to Alexa and actually compare how these two sites are doing in terms of traffic. So here you can see the daily reach for both sites on Alexa, and basically the higher the better on this chart, and MySpace is the red line, and Facebook is the blue line. So the red line, it's kind of got its little bobs up and down, and, it's kind of doing its own thing, but overall, it's relatively level. And if you look at Facebook's line is on a slope upward. So if I were buying or selling a stock, I would much rather own a stock that has an upward climb than I would own a stock that's relatively level or even decreasing, as we're going to see in the next slide. So here is the rank, the Alexa rank of these two sites. And you can see at the far left of the graph, MySpace is doing pretty good. Facebook is down there at 12 or something in that range. And in this case, the smaller numbers are better. So 6 is better than 12 as an example. So you can see Facebook is slowly increasing its rank, slowly edging closer and closer towards MySpace to where it actually overtakes it in April. And MySpace is just staying at the same exact level.